Hey, what's up, legends? Welcome back to another YouTube live stream. I'm super excited that you are here, and today we're gonna look at how to draw Christmas stuff. Now, with Christmas right around the corner, I'm so excited about this season because you get to draw a lot of awesome stuff. And with stuff and awesome and a lot, it's getting complicated because how to draw all of these different things, from Christmas trees to oven mittens to the hot chocolate and the cozy tree and all these awesome stars and you name it. There's a lot of different things that you can draw, and you're probably you're probably worried about all the different things that you can draw, right? Now, I've repeated myself a couple of times, but it's kind of getting overwhelming and it's kind of getting complicated. Now, I want to break it down and make it easy for you so you can draw all of these things with ease by showing you how to do and how to draw every single one. Now, you can use these things afterwards on every piece of lettering as decorative elements that you can draw around, fill out the spaces. You can create awesome Christmas cards and postcards that you can send out to your friends and loved ones, create an awesome gift card that you give along with your Christmas gift. But you can also decorate windows, create menu board specials for restaurants, and all of these different things for the special season as this one. Now, what we're going to do in this live stream is actually we are going to take a look at how this process goes and how we're going to look at that. So number one, we're going to make a list of all the Christmas things that we can think of. Then number two is we're going to sketch out different versions of every single item. Now, why do we sketch out different versions of every single item? Is because there are different ways to draw a thing. There's not just one way. There's never just one right way to do it. There's just a lot of different ways. And of course, with practice comes perfection. And as you practice, you get better and better and better. Then finally, we are going to apply it on different things. So you can apply that on creating your own Christmas cards. You can do it on windows. And I'm gonna share about a little bit of all the things that I know of how you can use it. And so let's have a quick look at all the things that you can create and you can do. And so I have a short couple of images ready for you. So here is the very first one. So you can see I'm drawing here on a glass window with chalk markers, and all these different elements are coming in handy. Then I've created this piece where I've created a shape of a letter and then drawn inside all these different pieces. It looks absolutely stunning when you look at it from afar, when you see the whole window sign, and as you're getting closer, you can see all these details, which is why knowing how to draw a lot of different versions of the same thing can be really awesome. And then finally, as you can see in different pieces, not for myself, so this is Art, who has created a lot of different things, but use the Christmas doodles and awesome decorations to create awesome packaging for gift wraps. Then we have Nevesman, so he's from Portugal. He's an awesome lettering artist, and he uses that to, again, fill out the space, add a little bit of touch to create awesome things. And finally, myself here in this picture, dreaming of a white Christmas, the chalk piece that I've created, just to create awesome little stuff. Now, you gotta ask yourself again, how hard is it and what do I need to get started? Now, the answer is you can use anything you want. I'm gonna be using for this live stream a whiteboard with whiteboard markers from Stabilo, but it can be anything that you want. You can use paper, you can use your iPad, you can use any tool at your disposal. But for now, right now, it's just about practicing the drawing exercise. So drawing exercise to practice all these things. And we're gonna take the time right now to get into the mood and the list. So over here on my top view, I have not just this candle, but also here the whole Christmas thing. So I'm gonna wipe this off, and please do not cry because this is created to be wiped away. So first off, like I said, we are gonna look at the whole list of things that we can draw. So creating a list of items, because knowing the words to these items will gonna help you to actually draw them out later, because you can also Google other items. So first off, the easiest one is a Christmas tree. So a Christmas tree is often and comes in fast. So how do you draw a Christmas tree? Well, I always start with the basic shape. So I'm gonna share the basic shape and kind of like reduce the shape in different ways. Now, because I'm gonna write it down first and then add the thing, so we're gonna do the list at the same time as we're going to do the drawings. Hope that makes sense, because I don't have a list Otherwise, I'm just gonna wipe it away and we're gonna start from scratch, right? So a Christmas tree is basically always a triangle. Now you can change the shape of the triangle. You can make it really tall, which kind of makes more like a pine tree, but you can also make it like a super strong triangle, which is kind of like a little bit too wide. So something in between those two, which is basically this shape here. Once you've created this triangle, the triangle just has in the middle just a tiny little stem at the bottom, and then you also have either it's in a pot or just something where it's held up, because it's usually not in the woods where it's still growing from the bottom, so you kind of like put it in a tree pot. I think that's the right name. So now that you have this basic shape, you can get really creative. You can separate this tree. So here you have the stem, which is the center, and then you can divide it into basically 3 options. So one thing that you can do is then to have these corner dots, and these dots will help you to have like a fixed dot where you can draw it in. So I start at the top here from the tree, and then either go straight down, create a triangle here, and then I can go and create another triangle, like just go a little bit up, further up, and create another triangle connecting all these dots, and do the same thing on here. So I actually will be drawing 3 triangles. Now here comes a really weird part, is where you actually will start to erase these insides, and so you can kind of get that shape right. So right now you have the tree shape and you have these 3 parts. Now you can do these in different ways. So again, if I would start with the, why am I connecting these? So again, with the triangle shape, now this is the easiest way to draw a tree. Again, splitting it up in the middle, and then instead of, again, splitting up 3 ways, now instead of doing like triangles, what I can also do is actually do some curves. So instead of having straight lines, I'm gonna use a curve, and you can connect the top here with a curve, and then go a little bit inside in again, and then curve out, inside in a tiny bit, again out, and then connect to the middle. Do the same thing from the other side. It's gonna be reflected, and outside curved, inside curved, outside curved, and back to the middle. Add the stem, add the pot here at the bottom, and then you color that one in, and you got a tree. Now, a lot of different trees shapes can also be done like a stylized tree. Again, use that shape. Like at the end, you won't even need to use that triangle shape anymore, because you can just start to fill this in and kind of like draw that out, have this shape in here, draw the pot, and you got another Christmas tree shape. Kind of amazing, right? You can always add some more stuff to your tree after that. So for example, you can add those ornaments and decorations to your tree. And so these are really simple. So just some balls, Christmas balls here. You can also just add like I do not know what the names are for the English version, but you probably know if you had a tree what these are. And then you can still add some more decoration in here. You can also add a star on top. So that's what we're gonna look at next, is how to create a star. But if you want, you can stop this video here when you're rewatching this, and you can just wait and do another tree, like play around, or again, Google a different way to draw a tree to create that. So again, starting out simply by using the shape. And so the shape is what is really simple, is creating a easy triangle to get started with. So that's how you draw a Christmas tree. All right, step number 2. So object number 2, what we're gonna pick is, for example, a star. So that is what comes on to a Christmas tree. You guys are not gonna see this. I'm gonna write the word up top on the left, on the right, on the right. So a star. So a star is a little bit more tricky because it has 5 corners. So when I'm drawing out a star, what I usually will do is draw out this automatically. Now, these shapes are not always perfect, so you kind of have to know how these lines are created and where to stop drawing and how to keep on going further. Because what you need to know is that a shape, a star has 5 dots. So we can break down the shape, and it's a pentagon. So pentagon means 5, and therefore it has 5 corners. Well, 5 little triangles inside. So you would have basically this shape that has 5 sides. And now that you are drawing this, is you can actually combine and connect all these corners. So if I'm going down here, I'm gonna always skip one, and then skip this point, skip the other point, and then connect all of these together, and I get a star. And that's how you can draw that too, is then erase all these insides in here. And the better you draw your pentagon, the better it will look like. But again, you can do the same exercise by just going one directional out. Again, you skip one, so you kind of do this where you jump over and go up here. So I'm jumping over and I'm kind of connecting all of these lines. Other way to think about it, and I'm giving you tons of options here, is think of it like a triangle here and another triangle on top, but kind of not finished here. So this one is a taller triangle, and then you have another triangle here, but it doesn't connect at the bottom, and that's where it gets a little bit tricky. Whoops, you go up and you go down, and then you again erase all the insides. That is the most complicated version. I'm not gonna use this one. So again, if you want to do a fast one, just do this trick here. So it's kind of like connecting all the corners. So that looks in big, like here. First, you're going down, you're going up, you're going sideways, you're going down, and you're going up. 5 corners and like 5 sides, and you get it all done. Now you can do also just simplified stars. So another one is the David star, which is 2 triangles superposed together. So that way you can kind of like do that. Just try it out at home. Do a lot of these different exercises where you draw out these stars. And the more you get down to that, the more you repeat it, the easier it will get, and the more the movement will stick into it. So that's why when I draw a star without these insides here, what I actually do is I will draw out a line, and let me just erase all of that again. I will start by the top here, going down like I would the whole way, but I will stop and I will draw the second part out, the second star wing. Is it a star wing? It might be a star wing. Star wing, then go out, because I know this line will connect downwards. So I kind of know, and I kind of follow this line here, and just will know it will stop here, and then it will go down in the same angle. Then we'll go up here, but it will also kind of like connect and go down this angle. So I kind of know exactly where to stop, and the practice will help you just get it right, mostly right. And then you can just draw like a little eyes, googly eyes, and then also just a smiley face, and you get something really cute. And you can also just draw another shape around it so it looks a little bit more fancy and cute and kind of like a gingerbread star instead of a gingerbread man. Speaking of gingerbread, let's take the next one. A gingerbread man, or what is it called? Gingerbread. I'm just gonna call it a gingerbread. Gingerbread boy. Too cute. So a gingerbread boy kind of has the same shape as a star. So it's kind of more like a human. So to do that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be drawing first a shape. A shape are easy to draw, and so that's why you always should start with drawing shapes, because that's gonna help you to build the person. Now I'm gonna be drawing a second square rectangle inside here, and then I'm gonna be drawing a circle around here, and I'm gonna be drawing here a triangle, or like just a piece of a triangle here, and then also gonna be drawing these out here and something down here. So you split that person into 2, and you have a triangle here on the top, you have this rectangle inside, and you have here the M, the reverse M or a W, and the shape of the face. Now, once I have that, what allows me to do is to draw here the shape around and go and just follow these lines in a simple way. And you don't have to be perfect, because no gingerbread is perfect. And once you have that, you kind of have the shape of a gingerbread. So without the lines, what you get is pretty much this. It's an outline of a nice little human, and kind of like that. Maybe the legs could go out a tiny little bit more, kind of like I did on this one here. And then what usually a gingerbread has this icing on top, which is kind of like this icing line that follows here the sides and just accentuate the lines here. And then we have those 2 eyes, And then usually we have also these belly buttons that are around and a big little smile. So doing it on this one here, because here the head is a lot larger, I can follow these lines again here nicely, and then give it some eyes, a smiley face, here some lines, maybe even some icing around there, some icing around those hands, and there you go, you get a gingerbread man. So to repeat the process again is just to, well, we can simplify that even more. Draw a nice little rectangle, a big head, and then we're adding the triangle on top, so we're connecting it to the belly button, and then also a reversed M or W. And then once you have that, you can really just connect these lines and just draw a more roundish shape around all of these elements. And then again, do the same thing over here. And then big eyes, super face, some buttons here, and some elements in here. If you want to go more precise than that, then you can again go through and look at like Google Gingerbread and look at all the different shapes and how you can create that and how you can draw it. Now, anyone in the chat, what do you think I should be drawing next? I'm going to be choosing one next, and that's going to be a sock that you would usually hang up on your chimney. So I'm just going to write a sock. But if you are in the chat right now, please let me know what we got to draw so you can choose what we're going to draw next. So first up, we have the sock. So a sock, again, is also a simplified version of two rectangles. So one long rectangle that is vertical. So one vertical, like a phone, and then a rectangle in the long way, kind of like if you would put the phone down, but not all the way. This, again, will help you to determine the shape of the sock, and then just follow those lines. And what we're going to do at the top is kind of adding the roundness around the sock. So kind of like a pocket here. That's where the white stuff is, and so kind of like this fuzzy, hairy part. And maybe it's not that great if you draw it like this. And then you can draw a lot of lines inside just to decorate that sock. For example, Christmas themes are always these zigzag lines, so you'll find those on sweaters. You'll find also these rounded lines also with some like little things inside, but you can decorate it however you want. You can do straight lines in between. You can combine these elements, like something round, something round, and something edgy. And then again, also the end triangle here of the sock is really important. That also gives it a nice little sock look. I don't know why. It's probably because the way you need to sew a sock together to make it look in or get it in that shape, that part here is really important. Now I can add these parts in here and again just play around with all these elements the way you want to. I'm not even sure how to do that, but here we go. And there you go, you have a sock. Now, how you want to color that one in is all up to you. So you can use, for example, all red to color in the top, and then just skip every second one to kind of like create your own version. Now, I kind of like mix these two together, so it's not that great. But that's how you draw a sock. All right, so what do we have here? We have, let's see. A reindeer. Snowflake. I like snowflakes. So Beline Corrado is suggesting a snowflake. So snowflakes are definitely on my list of items. So snowflakes, always awesome to do. Snowflakes are very complicated if you do it because either they're just like a dot on a picture and it doesn't look like much, but if you really want to stylize a snowflake, like if you go in within a microscope, you'll see that it has a lot of symmetry inside. So to do symmetry is to create these symmetry lines. So what I'll start off with is usually a straight line, then I cross that line, and then I cross it again and again. Now that is all symmetrical and already can look like a Christmas snowflake or just a snowflake in general. It doesn't have to be Christmassy. Now, the thing is where it starts to get a little fun is to create these crystals that go out everywhere. So I'm gonna start off here by adding these V shapes on top of the shorter ones. Then I can add a lot of different crystals going out like this here, and I'll create the same shape around so it all becomes symmetrical. Now that's one funny looking star, and I can also add here some more elements, and you can vary that as well. You can also start with a different starting shape, like for example a square, which is more like a diamond shape side here, and then adding all of these elements here, and then you can either create straight ones like that, and then still maybe add some more in here, and like vary between short and long and play around with the different shapes so you can create different variations of one snowflake. Because if you are really particular about snowflakes, no snowflakes look the same. Even better, go on and try to find some awesome snowflakes on different platforms, or like Pinterest, like Google Snowflakes illustration. You'll find a ton of awesome inspiration there. Now, also a lot with snowflakes is, again, if you look at the shape here, this is a hexagon because it has 4 sides. Now you can also create a hexagon. This is an octagon, 8 sides, 8 parts, octo, which is 8 in Latin, I think. Don't hold me accountable. Please do not hold me accountable. So what you can also do is an hexagon. So hexagon has 6 sides, so it's divided into 3s and creates these different pies. Now, when I start with that is also that I can create these roundness and then kind of try to divide that into 6 different parts. So here as well, I get to come up with all different sides. And again, because these kind of like break each other off, it's nice to kind of like play around with the different elements. So kind of like skipping always one to create another snowflake piece here. And for example, you can add some dots, some elements, some diamond shapes at the top here. You can play around really a lot with that and create different shapes. So snowflakes are a ton of practice and source of creativity, because there's really no limit of how much you can do with a snowflake. Like seriously, this is awesome. This is great to play around with. Okay, we have a snowball. Well, a snowball, that is very, I don't know, it's a snowball. Like a snowball would be round, but because it's snow, it's not perfectly round, so you can just add a couple of different pieces inside. All right, let's wipe that all away, and let's get around. So we had a gingerbread sock, and now we also have these candy sticks. I'm not sure how you call these, candy canes, candy sticks. So a candy stick is really just a long piece and then a round piece attached to it. So you can have a long straight line and just a circle. So if you sketch it out with a pencil, draw a straight line, do a rectangle even better, and then kind of like create a circle and a smaller circle inside. So this is kind of the easy way to draw it. And then you kind of follow along these lines, and then back here you end it, and then you connect it. So that's how you create these candy sticks. Now, here comes the tricky part. To make it really look really beautiful and interesting, you want to create these special marks that are usually in red and white. And so you kind of want to create the separation to make it look really nice, because otherwise that could look like a, I don't know, hockey stick, some polo stick or whatever. So to create that, you don't just want to create straight lines just like that, but you want to mimic like it's really round. So how do you do that? So you do that by actually thinking of how it will look when it would go around. Now, if it would just be straight lines, cut in straight lines, so just like here, it would be straight, it would be easy. But now, since it's going around and going around continuously, what you want to create is an S, or like a weird S. So kind of like this shape here. And you're gonna draw this a lot of times around and around. and you're gonna draw this in, and you kind of like want to follow here these lines, but this S is really gonna help you to get that straight. And so when you color that in here, it will look like an awesome candy piece. It does look like an AirPod. Rumil is right. This looks absolutely like an AirPod, maybe inspired by the AirPod. And this is how you get the beautiful curvature of a candy stick. So again, you will start first by creating a rectangle shape, then drawing 2 circles inside, and then finally doing this S part where you kind of like start from the bottom, go up, or you can go up and down, but you kind of always draw this S that goes around, and that's how you create this beautiful rounded effect. And if you want to go really fancy, you can just kind of like erase some parts because it's really glossy and shines nicely, and so you can kind of erase some parts to make that look like a reflection, kind of like that. Maybe not exactly like that, but you get the point. Okay, so we got the candy sticks. So what do we have next on the list? So we got, all right, Christmas tree ornaments. So like Christmas tree balls, ornament balls, ornaments. All right, ornaments. So again, the first thing that I'm gonna start with is asking myself, how does it actually work? So it's usually something that's hanging onto a tree. So we have the hook, and then that hook is attached to a piece, again here holding on, and then we have the Christmas ball. Now those Christmas balls also come in all different sizes and shapes, so it could be super long and oval, kind of like that, or it could be long and oval, kind of like this here, or I don't know, it could be a lot of different things. Now you can either have those hooks fully done, so kind of like that, because often enough you will have a second hook to hook that into the tree, so you kind of like, you can go really far. Now, the one thing that is really awesome is also the decoration you can create inside of it. So you can also do these lines and dots, these lines in between in here, for example, the cut, edgy lines that go in between. And what else could you do? You can do a lot of different cool things. You can also have this swivel around part. Again, the S that we just looked at before, you can add that and implement that in here too. Because it's a round object, it will have the same effect as the other ones would have. So you can see a lot of different ornament trees that you can do here, and these are great as a filler, as a placeholder that you can add always around. So here, these are the Christmas tree balls, and what you can do as well, except also for just hitting pause if you want to, is that you can start always with the shape, the circle shape. Then you want to make sure that it is kind of connected to the middle by adding a rectangle on top, and then just again a loop around on the top. And so you connect all of these things. You have that, and you have the Christmas ball. And then if you want to add some shine to it, you can just add that on the side like this here, and you get something absolutely beautiful. And then really play around with all the different shapes that you can put together on a tree. All right, so what else do we have? We have coffee mugs, tea mugs. Like, it's a cold season for most of us, for everyone in the northern hemisphere. It's probably gonna be a cold winter. So right now we have snow on our hills. It snowed yesterday. Well, actually on Sunday, it snowed through the night. And so getting a hot cup of tea is beautiful, or even a hot chocolate. So how do you draw a beautiful cup? Well, you're gonna start off first with a circle shape. So a circle shape, again, a nice circle is super round. Then you're gonna draw a smaller circle, kind of like this inside. This kind of informs you that it's a little bit tilted. So a smaller circle and just reduce the size from both sides. Then what you can do is ask yourself, like, is it a big coffee mug? Then just draw 2 straight lines down, which kind of like gives you that rectangle, and then redraw the same smaller circle that you did here, And if you need some help, you can just draw a straight line. And again, to help yourself, draw these 2 dots here, and then you can draw that out. And that way you get a nice angle. Then you also want to add the coffee handle, so the mug handle, so you can kind of draw this on the side, and I draw another circle inside right down the middle. Now that you have all these straight lines, it's ready to connect. So first up, we're going to start with the top. I'm going to connect these. Then I'm going to connect all the way down and do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm just going to use the outer line here, not the in line, because that's the one that we use to draw the outside. This would be on the other side of the mug. Then we're going to connect the back and the handle here, and we're going to draw a second one, just a tiny little bit smaller inside. And I'm also going to draw here another, like imagine having a second line inside. That's where my coffee or my tea is going to be. So that looks like it's right there inside. And then I'm going to use a little steam. So it's 2, 3 S's that are here to give you a little hot steam. Now, to make it all Christmassy, I can either draw, for example, a Santa inside, or you could draw anything Christmas related. Again, you can draw a star by doing this shape around here. So you kind of have this special coffee mug. If you want to add a little plate below it, you can just add that around here, add some cookies. You can go all crazy in here. So I'm going to add like a cookie, a chocolate chip cookie, by just adding some dots in here. And we got ourselves a beautiful, hot, steaming, beautiful mug right there that you can use in your Christmas decorations. All right, this is the coffee mug. So another one is the snow globe. The snow globe is an awesome one. So snow globes, how do snow globes work? So snow globes are simply something that's inside. Usually it's round, so we have something round inside, and then it's cut. So since it's cut, what I will have to do is I'm gonna break it off here. So that's where I'm gonna cut it. Now, because it's usually on an angle, I'm gonna actually draw, like the coffee cup, another circle around here and do another bigger circle at the bottom. Now, I can follow these lines in here. So that's the snow globe. Then I can connect these parts here. So this is the bottom, and then connect all of this here. And then back here, it's gonna be connected. But first, we're gonna have to think of what's coming inside the snow globe. For example, it'd be a house, it'd be a landscape, it'd be a snowman. So a snowman, because we're on the subject of snow globes, a snowman is really simple. It usually has 3 round circles around, and they're all kind of like a Christmas tree, kind of like connected from the biggest one at the bottom to the smaller one to the smallest one, which is the head. Then what you will want to do is kind of connect all of these elements together to create a beautiful snowman. Now, what does a snowman need? It needs arms, and so you have those sticks. So usually I would either create sticks that just grow out, that are sticked inside the snowman itself. And then we have a carrot. So a carrot, you can either draw it from the side, draw some googly eyes, then add a face. Again, all of these are usually done with a snow. You can also add him or give him a little scarf to hold, and maybe even a beanie that he can have on top, and a little, I don't know, this broom stick that is inside here. You can go all nuts with this snowman again, of course, but we will draw the snowman inside here. So drawing like 3 circles around, and then having this beautiful snowman inside the snow globe, adding the snowflakes. You cannot draw these super precise snowflakes in here, and I'm gonna add just like a ton of snow that is lying around, and then also just add some elements and even add the broomstick here, maybe some parts there. So this is one way to draw one snow globe. There are a lot of different ways to do like different variations of a snow globe. So for example, we can have a half-rounded snow globe. Again, when you start to practicing all these elements, you get to create these parts. Often enough, it will also have like a small little piece, like a metal engraving piece here that says something about it. It could be also a city landmark that you have in your city. For example, if you're living in Paris, it could be the beautiful Eiffel Tower that's inside the snow globe. So this Eiffel Tower, super easy to do. It's like, again, a triangle. If you look at it, the way it's drawn, it's a beautiful triangle set together that you can draw in, and you have all of these elements here. And again, the snow globe effect happens when you add here the little snowflakes all around. So those are snow globes that, again, you can also add into your lettering pieces or drawing cards, Christmas cards. You can do a whole Christmas card with just a beautiful snow globe. For example, let's say you will add a, again, so here we have like a circle, the circle around here, a triangle, a rectangle here, and then another smaller circle at the base. So that is our snow globe. And then we are duplicating that, kind of connecting it. And so that's kind of like the shape. And then finally, for example, if your name starts with an S like mine, then you could draw, or for someone that you like, you could draw an S inside here. And if you want to be fancy, you can also just create like this snow looking S that is covered in snow and has some snow lying all around. And then again, adding all these snowflakes. And so you can create a awesome looking Christmas card around here, maybe adding some stars. But this is a cool way to create something really fun for your loved ones and your friends and family. All right, those were snow globes. So what do I have? Ribbons. Ribbons will come all the way with the Christmas presents that we also have. So ribbons. Ribbon is something that you would put around a lot of different things. So we have these ornaments. So awesome here, and then you'd often put a ribbon at the bottom like here. So since we are just gonna look at the ribbon first, I'm gonna have a sip of water. So how do you draw ribbons? So I would usually start with two parts. So one, you start to create this bow tie. So first you create the bow tie, then you have the knot of the bow tie right here, and then you have two rectangles going into both directions. So pretty much two triangles stacked on each other, but you really need only these two pieces. Even better is to have this size right here and a little bit bigger, just like that. Now, once you have that bow tie, what you want is to kind of like copy the size, this stroke here, and replicate it down here, just parallel to that line. The same you'll do on that side, and then you have all of the elements you need. Now, how you connect these is then you create this first bow around here, and the second that will go on top, but you will connect at the end these two pieces. Do the same thing on the other side, and go on top, connect these, and then you'll create that bow around here. So that's where it all connects and it ties together. And then you have these two pieces. You can cross these. And then finally, the way you want to end the bow, usually I like to cut them up into these beautiful pieces. And that's the inside of the bow. So here I'm gonna fill that out because it's usually gonna be darker. And the same way here. And then if you want to go further, you can always add another line inside because it kind of like sticks together inside here. So the same way here, and there you go, you got your ribbon bow that's set together. Now let's have a look, because that's very complicated and it's really usually it's simplified the more you practice. So let's start again by repeating those couple of steps. So step number one, actually draw a bow tie. A bow tie beautifully like that. Then you kind of like create where the bow tie comes together, and you create either these parallel lines right away. So you copy these lines, and then finally you kind of extend these lines. You can make these go a little bit further apart, and like that you have all the lines you need to draw the bow itself. So again, go up in here, draw the bow around, connect these two, do the same thing on the opposite end. So really, you need to know just one half, because the other half is going to be the mirror side, the exact same element together. And then finally, connect all of these pieces together, just like that, and you got yourself a beautiful bow that you can hang around anywhere. So I hope that this was actually simple enough to create, because the next part is how you can actually put that onto, for example, a Christmas present. So let's erase that part and let's look at the gift present, or let's say just gift box. A beautiful gift box. So a gift box can be done in simple ways. So first way is to draw just a beautiful square. Now the square is super easy, and then you can kind of like draw here the ribbon that will go around that gift box. Finally, what you can do, so it doesn't look just like a help sign or like a medical line, then what you want to do is to draw another bow around here and another bow around there, and then maybe create these two pieces to create a beautiful little gift box. So that is the easy way to draw a present. The second way is a little bit more complicated, but not impossible. So the second way is you will draw a 3D version of that. So it comes in three parts. So number one is you are going to draw a rectangle that is slightly more looking like this diamond shape. Then you want to create 3 lines that go straight vertically down, and then redraw the same elements here parallel, which means the same angle, the same style. So I'm just following the same line here, just further down. That is what parallel means, and then connecting that. Now you got a 3D present, a box that is connected here. So what I'm going to do next is what I'm doing in red, you can do always in pencil and then go on top with a marker. And then finally, what I'm going to do is I'm again doing all these lines. This time, I'm just doing the cross on the top and then following the straight lines again right down here, because that's where the box will go, just right down. And now comes the really tricky part, is where we're gonna add the bow. So the bow, again, it's gonna be connected here. So this is where the bow and the knots, the ribbon will tie together. So right here in the center. And then I'm gonna add the bow tie, again on this side and this side. And I'm gonna add here these 2 sidelines again. And then connect these two. And so we have a lot of lines right now that we need to connect. Once you use the black marker, it will all make sense. So first draw the circle, the bow, and then the second one on top, and then connect these 2. Do the same thing again on this one side, connect these 2, draw the knot here, and then here you just go to the edge of this box first, and then you want to kind of connect here with a W that connects these pieces. Now, once you have done that, you only need to connect all of these parts all together. And this is kind of where it gets a little bit complicated, but not impossible. It's just a matter of practice to get all these pieces together. And so that's how you create a beautiful, stunning box just like that. Finally, what you want to do is you want to color in, of course, the ribbons, everything in red here, just like that. And that's how we will color in our beautiful ribbon that surrounds our box and creates a beautiful gift that you can give to your friends and draw in. Just an awesome way to draw something here. So, just to repeat that, first you start off with this diamond looking shape. So an easy way to do that is drawing a line here by the middle, and then this one is kind of half or just a little bit smaller than the long line here, and you connect these, you draw 3 lines right down, and you redraw the same element here. So you can again use the same cross that you designed here to design that. Then finally, you want to create the lines that go down and then repeat the same ribbon effect that we looked at with the bow, with the knot, and with those pieces looking out. And that's how you create a beautiful gift box that you can draw. All right, so that is the gift box. So how many more Christmassy things do we get to draw? So that's a great question. So how far are we? We're 40 minutes in, and I feel like there's a lot more that we can do. And I'm just gonna look at a couple more things. For example, a candle. Right on my side, I have a beautiful candle that is drawn. So a candle is usually a long candle, which is a rectangle. It has a little piece, which is the, I don't know, what's it called? The one part that is on fire the whole time. And the way you connect it, again, the S's to connect these parts to create that. And here you kind of would start here, get down, connect all of these, and this is how you can draw a beautiful looking candle. And if you want to draw that more from the top, which I often like to do, I start usually with the flame on top here, then draw a circle where it's connected and connect it all the way down and connect it like this here. So that's how you can draw a beautiful looking candle. If you have like a bedside candle, it would have maybe a handle on the side that you can hold your candle and can walk around with it. That's a cool way to do that too. And then also it could have like a little wax strip that goes down, and that makes it look even more realistic. So this is how you can draw a beautiful candle. Also really something that is used a lot in Christmas, especially on trees, but it's kind of dangerous if you think about it. Then what else do we have? We have mistletoes. So mistletoes is also something that I like to draw a lot because it usually have like these two round things. Always think those are cranberries. Maybe if you're like me, you also think these are cranberries, but they're definitely not. But I would usually start with a straight line. That's the center straight line, little curved line. And then those are my points that I have. And I actually will connect these here and kind of will draw something like this around, but will not draw these out like that. So I will use these as anchor points. And then we'll create rounded lines to connect all of these together. And then have a straight line that will go not all the way to the top, and another smaller line just around. And then we'll create these rounded cranberries, as I like to call them, which again, they're not, maybe not right at the center of it, but maybe around here and maybe around here. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So free-handed, it will look a little bit like this. So first up, I'm gonna draw this line here. Then I imagine myself these couple of dots. You can just draw them around. That can help you a lot. And it's to connect these and to go all around and just to add a little piece over there, which is great because you can add those everywhere and anywhere you want. Now there's also the branches from a Christmas tree that are also really nice. So here we have like these trees that are just going a little bit shorter at the end and doing the same thing on the opposite side. So that is also a great way to have like a branch piece sticking out. And there's also a lot of different botanical or organic trees, natural elements that you can add to your lettering, to your design, to your drawings, because those are great fillers. You can kind of craft them the way you need them to be, to go in the specific direction. And so like I can fill out the space just by using all of these elements and not having to worry about space, because I just can fill it all out the way I want it to and the length I need them to be. So a great way to fill out a whole space, again, just by adding some cranberries left and right, and to fill it all out. So those are some really cool things. And then finally, there's also, this is gonna be probably the last one, I think. Oh, there are a couple ones still. So here we have the bells. I don't know where bells come from for Christmas season, but they're really fun to draw. So free-handed, it looks a little bit like this. And there's this top here, and then there's the inside that actually does the whole noise. And then often enough, you will actually create two next to each other, and just like that. And I would often add some glowing effect on top here, and maybe some ringing sound if you want that, like church bells that go on Christmas. So how do you draw that? Well, one, you will start with a circular shape. So this is this one at the bottom. Then you want to split that up, like right down the middle. And so this is where the center piece will be, but that's not really necessary right now. Then we'll create another circle around here, and we are just gonna connect these. So we're just drawing straight lines down, and here we are just leaving it out. So it creates that nice little curvature of that bell. So now that I follow these lines, it looks really fun. And this is how you can connect all of these elements, like a nice looking bell, and here just connecting these parts and adding here another part. Again, often enough, it will have a bow as well on the top. And here the highlight is usually on the side with just a long line, short line, however you want. You can do also the short line on top, the long line on the side. Not necessarily on both sides, but you get the point. You can draw it on either side. So again, small circle, that's the bottom, the rounded part on top. And if you want to draw it freehand, again, start usually by the bottom, and then here just imagine where the center is going to be at. That is kind of the center. Draw like a circle shape, and then connect these like that. It's a little bit smaller shape because otherwise it will look more like a snow globe than it will look like a bell if you just draw it straight without that curvature, with that outside curve that just goes nicely down. And then often enough, you want to draw a second one next to it so it looks like it's not just alone. So you can imagine having a second one right behind it. So I would usually start by not drawing the full one, start imagining where the center is. So it would probably be around here where the highest point. It would be this straight up, and then here kind of like rounded, and then rounded outwards. And then you can create like your second bell that is drawn right next to it and kind of like overlapping, which is kind of like awesome to do. But again, takes practice with one. Then as you go on, you kind of like, as you can start to freehand it, you get along really well. That's going to be easy for you to draw. Now, I'm wondering if the music has stopped. It doesn't look like it has stopped. So we're keeping going on here. And so those were the bells. And now finally comes Santa. Santa is an awesome figure that we kind of use all the time. So Santa, well, you want to start one with the face. The face looks kind of like this. And actually, I'm not even sure how to draw it exactly, but I'm going to cut it down here. So this is where the hat comes in. So I'm creating like a long line around here. There's a little round top. And so I'm trying to get closer and closer. So then I know that here is the beard. So the beard will have this like symmetry line here, and it will connect here where the nose is. Then we have a little space for the mouth, and then he usually has a big beard. The hat on the top here usually is also very large. And since he is smiling, I will actually add the smile inside, and we'll kind of connect that. I'm kind of gonna leave him some big eyes. And so now that I can connect these parts, I can create Santa here, a fluffy hat, kind of like that. Some big eyes. And then here, the beard and the big smile. That's how you can draw a small little Santa. Rarely do I ever actually use Santa in a drawing, but you never know. You can always draw that. You can always draw it. And so that is Santa, a small, simple way of drawing Santa. If you want to draw the full Santa, again, that could be a whole different topic. But again, here, I went on and created all of these different elements. Now, The question is, how do we bring it all together? So this is kind of like sketching, doodling different ideas and coming up with a lot of different versions that you can create on your own. Now, the whole thing is, how do you bring it together? Like, how do you bring it all the way to something that you can use in a lettering piece, or that you can create something awesome for like a awesome Christmas card? Now, as I mentioned before, I use this on a window. So I designed the shape of the window and then drew inside of it. As you can see as well here, the coffee piece, this is kind of how it looked from afar. And this is what you can do. You can create the outlines of your lettering piece, of your words, and then draw these letters inside. The simpler the form is, the easier it will get. And now comes the tricky part, is to kind of fill it all out so it looks complete, that it looks full. And how do you do that? Well, that's a great question, and that's what we're going to look at right now. So I'm gonna be picking out a random first name letter from anyone who's gonna say it. So in the chat right now, choose a letter that I should use for this exercise, and we'll show you how you can do that at home as well. So in the chat right now, type in your first name letter and let me choose and pick one of those out. The first one that comes up will be selected, and while you're doing that too, well, why don't you also hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on any future live streams. And also, I love to hear your thoughts on future videos. This one was actually requested by my assistant, but I would also really love to hear what you guys think, what you want to see in the future. So I got Blue Angel typed in the A very first, so that's the one I see. So I'm gonna be using this, where is it? Here. So I'm gonna be drawing an A. So an A is, again, also a beautiful just triangle shape. And I'm gonna draw a second triangle shape here. And then I can connect these elements, and I'm gonna leave enough space so I can draw around it. Boom. Right there, like that. So, all right. So I'm gonna start somewhere around in this tree. For example, here I'm gonna add a nice little Christmas tree. And I'm gonna add the pot inside here. Then I can add a, what does fit in here really well. For example, these snow or these candy canes, that's what I wanted to say. So right now I kind of have to draw it a lot smaller. Then again, if you have that list, if you have those sketches all in your sketchbook, then you can use that to go on and on and on. Now I can draw another Christmas tree, for example, on this side, kind of like this stylized Christmas tree. Draw it out here. I can draw a candle burning over here, and always trying to get to the edges. Right here, when I have like a space that I'm not sure how to use, I can use fillers, for example, these stars that are easy to use. Then I can do, can add a Christmas present, or for example, a mug here, like a coffee mug. Kind of like create these shapes around, and you can keep on going, drawing out different shapes. Here, my two cranberries with that mistletoe element here. Then I can add a star that goes right in here. And I keep on going, adding some elements. And that's why I have a visual reference on the side with all of my different lists. So for example, Christmas trees, bells, and that really helps me to kind of like always find something new to draw. And not always does it have to be new, it just doesn't have to be next to each other. For example, here, this is the sock. And then I can add some elements around. And what else could I add? I can add, there's these poppers. I don't know where they're from, if they're also in different countries. Like I remember them being really popular in Australia. Then again, those fillers are really nice. So a branch, Christmas tree branch, these globe ornaments. Then I can create another Christmas tree ornament, kind of like this. What else can I create? Snowflakes are always awesome. Like the more space you have, the more detail you can get, of course, and create something really awesome. Again, here a little star that will fill out the space. Another branch to fill out those heart spaces, kind of a star over here, and then create here another. I wanted to go with a coffee mug, but again, I already have that one. Maybe just draw another coffee mug with a little star on it, just to change it up. But that wasn't really smart to have two coffee mugs next to each other. Then I can draw a Christmas present right in here. Again, practicing these will actually help you to get better a lot of the times, so you can really excel at drawing. And I'm not trying to make it perfect right now, because the goal is just to play around with those shapes, with these different elements, and to draw something out that you really like and enjoy. And then I can also do a shooting star that is just another star, and then have like these shooting elements right below here. Then maybe do another branch, twig, something there, some cookies, because we have a mug right there. Adding just a second one because we can. Doing another bell over here. What about another Christmas tree? So you see, you're just trying not to think too much and just keep on going, because the more you think about it, the harder it will get to do that. That almost looks like 3 slices of pizza. Then I can also just add some beautiful, what are these? I don't know. I do not really know what these elements are all called, so I'm sorry if you know them, then you probably will it will be easier for you to find than for me. But here we go. Oh, there's also the gingerbread man. Something like that. You see, one shape will always bring you an idea for something else. Then we can just add the bow. That's a lousy bow. See, I can always improve on my elements and my bows and my pieces. I can add another candle in here, maybe more round one. And then add another snowflake, maybe a bigger one. Like that. Oh, a snow globe. Snow globes are fun. And then snow globes give me an idea for a snowman. And then I just add some fillers in here, some dots, just to space it out even more. Then we have here, inside here, we're gonna have a little house. It's going inside. What else can we add? We can add socks. We have another Christmas tree ornament. We can add a Christmas tree ornament here, maybe a longer one. An ugly Christmas sweater, maybe. Something like that. Maybe another Christmas present. And then I have to start thinking of shapes that will fit right inside here. So here there's not much going in. Then we can add a star more or less in here. Maybe doing a shooting star. And then finally, maybe just a house with a chimney, with a door, and then maybe another stick over here, start right down here, and then some cranberries. At the end of the stream, I definitely will need to figure out what type of things they are, because they're also red and look like cranberries, so why not call them cranberries in another of these poppers? Because the nice thing about these poppers is that you can also really decorate them nicely and then kind of add these awesome elements. And then I'm just gonna add these pops around. So as you can see, you have a beautiful A, and you can write out a whole list of different things and create different pieces. You can also just draw shapes of it. Like if you have, for example, let me erase all of that now. What you can also really do is when you have your Christmas card, like this here, and you can either write something in, for example, like Merry Christmas, and then you can kind of like create like these, the bow here, something like that. You can add those cranberries that go around here, something like that. You can just add those candy sticks here going in and out, twigs. You can add some stars. You see, you can use all of these elements in a creative way to create something awesome. But what you can also do is, when you have the card, is also you can just create a Christmas tree shape, for example, and then draw inside with a lot of different styles of the things that you just learned, those doodles and the Christmas stuff that we just looked at. You can also just look and create like a weird shape around that, draw something inside, not just a letter. You see, there's a ton of different things that you can use that for, and draw something really, really awesome and create something that you will love. All right, so now it's your turn to create something awesome, and I cannot wait to see what you guys will create, what you guys will make out of this whole experience and thing. And so I hope that this inspired you to not be afraid to draw all these Christmas items, but really be ready and simplify these shapes and sizes into something that you can easily redraw. Always think of that it's always done in shapes. So anything, you can break it down into triangles, rectangles, and circles. These are the basic shapes for anything that you will ever draw. And the more creative you get, again, try out doodling different variations. And so again, start with number one, finding all these elements. Make a list of all these elements. That's everything that's Christmas. Number two, then sketch and doodle different variations of one thing. Break it down into simplified versions so you always know how to do it. Practice it. Do it over and over again until you get something that you are really happy and excited for. And then finally, apply those ideas in many creative ways onto your Christmas cards, your windows, the projects that you will create and come up with. And so that's something that I hopefully have been able to share with you, and that whenever you are doing a project, that you can come up with something awesome just as this here, or even more awesome, like create a beautiful window inside a coffee shop, wherever you are, that you are having creative ideas and come up with awesome things to do, and then also surprise your family, friends, and loved ones. So I kind of hope that we'll see each other again very, very soon. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video if you haven't already. Comment below what I should do next in my next video, in my next live stream, because that's gonna help me to decide what we're gonna do. And until then, I hope that you guys are having a fantastic day, and that we'll see each other very, very soon. All right, guys, see ya.